Hello and welcome back to my TR6 video channel. My name is Johnny. Today is Wednesday. I haven't been here since Sunday, and those of you that have been following me would have seen I sprayed the front valance and sprayed the scuttle over the weekend as well. Suddenly the car is starting to look like a real car again, like something that you're going to see driving around the streets one day. Good to see this all painted up, looking nice. The engine bay, now that it's uncovered, is starting to look even better. I've loosely fitted in the brake pipes, and yes, I sprayed the brake pipes green for no other reason than I thought they look nice against the yellow background. Yeah, rubbed them down and sprayed, undercoated them and sprayed them like overkill. But okay, yeah, so they just need tightening in. But the other really good news is the head is back. This is the underside. So it's had all hardened valve seats. He's also skimmed it for me as well. He's put new valve guides for me, and also very kindly painted it for me as well. So I haven't got to do that, which basically means I can go right ahead and fit the head. Go ahead and fit the head. Sounds like a song. Right, I've just finished cleaning off the top of the cylinder head using a little blade, scraping off all the last bits of the previous cylinder head gasket, and I'm now ready to drop the cylinder head in. Now, I've bought a complete gasket set, which is the head gasket, manifold gaskets and water pump gasket, whatever. And this is what a head gasket looks like. This particular one, I don't know if they're all like that, is a bit different on the underside. It's got these sort of fillets which go between the cylinders. Just had to ring up John Paddock, who was very helpful, because there's no markings on this to tell you which is top and bottom. So I've had to ring up John Paddock, and he explained to me that this side, the bits of metal between the cylinders, go down onto the block. That will just drop on like that. So that's the cylinder head gasket on. Next stage is the cylinder head. Now this thing is really heavy, so I'm going to get myself into the engine bay, which you could do with older cars because there was enough room, and drop this on. For some reason, this piece of the engine, I think it's where you lift out the engine, is restricting it there, so I'm going to have to loosen that off, and hopefully that will drop it down. I don't know why that's like that, because I took the head off with that part intact. Right, now that bit is off, I should be able to drop the head in nice and flat. Without catching your fingers. That's it, that's on. Next thing to do is put the washers and the nuts on and begin torquing it down. And according to my book here, it says to tighten them up at first stage of £60 and then second stage £80, starting from the centre, crisscrossing outwards. So that's the cylinder head tightened down. What is next is I can now start putting on the exhaust manifold, the throttle housings, alternator and all the other little ancillaries. And of course I've got to build up the whole rocker bar. The new rocker bar shaft came in today, so I can possibly rebuild that tonight if I've got time and drop that in. I've got a nicely sprayed rocker cover, newly sprayed rocker cover to go on there, so that's my job for the next couple of days or so, I suppose, really, for me. By the time I finish off everything, then under the bonnet is done and I can put the bonnet back on as well. What I can do now is fit the water pump housing on. Just put the gasket on that with some sealer, and you can see again it's gone home and it's been sprayed, undercoated and varnished to look like new. I've also bought a brand new water pump. Which is going to look gorgeous on there. And finally, of course, a brand new thermostat. I can now fit my alternator. I just realised that this bolt here on the water pump housing should also hold the bracket for the alternator. I've done as much as I can do inside the engine bay for today. There's other bits that I've got to bring from home to finish off what I need to do underneath there. So meanwhile I'm just tinkering around waiting for the traffic to die down before I go home. And I decided to try and fit the window frame. So before doing that, I cleaned up the dashboard and then I masked off these little vents and resprayed them with a satin black so they look nice and new again. Problem I'm having is this rubber. It is really difficult to get on because the rubber wraps around the front of this and around the back of that and then meant to sort of go in flat, and as it goes in it's meant to at the same time open up. Trying to show you. Basically it's meant to sort of open up and this bit goes flat onto the body. Sort of like that, if you can see that. So as the windscreen gets tightened in, that sort of opens up and it's flat, nice, whatever. But then as I'm doing that, it's pulling it from the back where it's wrapped around the back part here, which is this area along here. At the moment, it's just sort of sat on the bottom there, but I've got to kind of get underneath it and get it to catch so that it sits along the frame here. So you're pulling it from one side and it comes undone on the other side and vice versa, and I'm struggling with this. Thing is, it's nearly 7 o'clock. I should have gone home, but I started doing this job. I'm excited about seeing what it's going to look like when it's all finished, but sometimes you just got to call it a day and come back and start afresh tomorrow. And I think that's what I'm going to do because I'm starving. I'm back here today and I've left the windscreen for now, the window frame for now, and started working a bit more on the engine. I've put in the exhaust manifold and the inlet manifolds so far, and just trying to work out where all these cables have got to go. Now I know I've got photographs somewhere and I'm trying to find them on my phone. This is looking more and more like a built-up engine, almost ready to fire. And as I mentioned before, I've still got to bring in the rockers and fit all those in, and then I can put a cap on this, and then the main part of the engine is done. I'm back working on the windscreen. So I've been on the phone to my mate Ray, and he told me the way that he always used to do it was to put fairy liquid down the channel of the bottom rubber, and then using of course a plastic torch I was trying to use anyway, you can gently unroll the rubber from the inside where it's catching as it's pinching. So hopefully that bit of advice should make my life a bit simpler. This is a job I'm not enjoying. It's taken me ages to get the inside of this rubber off over the lip. The outside tries to roll back inwards, so I've got to try and keep both of them splaying outwards. And while I'm actually pulling these rubbers outwards, there's a good chance for me to sort of clamp them down and hold them in place at the same time. This windscreen is giving me real grief. I've spent hours on it now. I'm just about to take off the whole frame and start again, all because of one little bit that won't go in. There's this bit of rubber comes in nicely along here, and then just down here, no matter what I do, I can't get it to roll over. I've slackened the nuts off and tried to lift up the thing a bit more and maybe push the rubber in from underneath in all sorts of ways, but it just doesn't want to stay, because as soon as I've got to tighten it down again, it wants to lift up. Having said that, I might have just solved it. Yeah, I might have just saved it actually. So scrap that last conversation. The windscreen's going in perfectly. It's a doddle. Thanks, Ray. I have managed to do it, but I'm not happy. This side here, you can see, fits really nicely. The rubber's sort of resting on the panel here nicely, and it's nicely tucked in behind there. But here is not sitting very nicely. It starts off good in the corner here. The rubber splays outwards onto the panel, and then you'll see now it's like this is nice and tight, and then as I come towards this bit here, it's just trying to curl back. Look, it's just curling back under. Now that's wrong, and I, for the life of me, cannot work out where my problem is with this, and I'm losing my patience with it as well. The bolts in here are tightened up as much as I can tighten them up, so I can't think what the problem is. And unfortunately, I'm not going to do this tonight, but I am going to take off the frame again, and I'm going to have another go, because I want it sitting as nice as it's sitting on that side. It's got to be that way, otherwise it's not right. Not having a great time with it today, other than me fitting in the inlet and exhaust manifold, which is looking really pretty at the moment. It's been a pretty rubbish day for me. I feel like I haven't done anything worthwhile. Really, that could just been done in like 2 hours or whatever, an hour really, and it's done. Yet I've been here for sort of 8 hours today, and I've done nothing. I've not achieved anything. And those are the days when I don't like doing car restorations. They come and go every so often. Like yesterday I was in love with what I was doing. Today I'm really put off, just because of a stupid thing like a rubber. But yeah, I'm a baby, and I throw tantrums. And when I'm not filming, I'm really throwing tantrums. Tomorrow's another day. You know what? I won't sleep well tonight unless I get this rubber seated in properly. It's 10 to 6, and I'm going to have another go at it before I go home, because it's getting to me. I'm still here. Took the whole thing off. There wasn't anything that I could see that was a problem, and I put it back on, and it's only marginally better. I'm not happy with it, and the thing that's getting on my nerves the most is that I can't work out why it's doing that when the other side is perfect. The scuttle's straight. It's not like it's got a big dent in it and that will cause it to dip down. Yet this part here wants to just curl under. It's tight all along here, then just here. This, and to top it all, I'm starving. I've got about half an hour drive before I can get home and eat. I'm going to call it a night and see what tomorrow brings me.